to speak about, but I'm going to talk about Bhagavad-Gita in introduction, if that is okay.
Yes.
Sorry. I did not much to speak about, but yes, sorry. Yeah, okay. This is my first time on your channel, so I would like to thank both of you for allowing me to come to your channel. Hare Krishna. And it is my great fortune. And whatever I speak is just whatever spoken by Srila Prabhupada and my spiritual master. I'm really a child and not a good substitute for such a great personality like Manunath Prabhu. But by the mercy of my spiritual master, I'll try to make something which may be meaningful to you, and you may need to take some notes also. I do not know, but it will be very, very useful, hopefully for all of you to advance in your spiritual life. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for all those great souls, which I do not know all of you here. I know only two. I think I've seen a mother once.
Hi, how are you?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Your voice is coming like from the sky. You speak.
Nice being here.
Yes, it is a great fortunate thing that all of you are here. So I must thank Cassandra Mataji for calling our entire family. I see the same last name. So thank you.
Yeah, they'll introduce themselves to so you can meet them. Okay.
Today we are going to talk about very, very interesting concepts since our time is short and I'm very famous for going above time. So I'm trying to make it as concise as possible. One day I would like to start with a small story. One day there was a person who won the lottery to go to the New York. He was from the deep village and he won the lottery to go to the free fare with all his 5 to 10 friends to New York City to go around, and he won the lottery so he was very happy and he was from the village. And then he went to New York City in Manhattan, and he lived in a very nice hotel where he stayed on a top floor. So all his friends. So they all decided that we will go to see the New York City. So they said, okay, so half of them will go this way, half of them will go that way, and in the evening we'll meet and discuss whatever we have seen. So they came back in the evening and they found that there was no electricity. There was a major short circuit and they lost the electricity. What to do? They have to climb on 100th floor. And when you don't have electricity, you have to climb. And so they say what to do. So they were chit-chatting and trying to go on one floor after another. They somehow reached 50th floor, then 80th floor, then 90th floor, then 99th floor. And then they were just panting. And then they said, I'm going to break a great news to all of you, that I have left the key at the ground floor. So this is what people do in their life. When they get human life, they toil a lot, they work very, very hard, but they forget to take the keys with them. And what is the key of life? Is to understand who we are, to understand the process of Bhagavad-Gita, which will help us to not just know who we are, but who is God. The Bhagavad-Gita essentially teaches the 5 topics. The 5 topics. The first topic is who is God. Anyone else knows the second topic?
Who are you?
Who are you? Who is Jiva? Yes. And the third topic is
what is material nature?
Material nature. Good job, Harival. And the fourth one is
what is your purpose?
Time.
Time.
And the fifth one is karma. So out of these 5 topics, the 4 of the elements are eternal and 1 karma, which is not eternal. So the Supreme Lord Krishna, eternal, all of us are jiva, as a spirit soul, we are eternally exist. And the third thing, the material nature, it always exists. It may be temporary, but it always exists. And the fourth one is the time, which actually, mixed with material nature, causes the karma and the reaction. Good karma, bad karma. It's all mundane. We talk about akarmas also. So there are different types of karmas which we will discuss some other session. I thought this would be an introduction. So why Bhagavad Gita out of all scriptures? Why not Harry Potter book? No, that's so exciting. Why we read Bhagavad Gita? So there's a very nice answer is given. There are, as Manonath Prabhu has explained, that there are Upanishads. There is a Vedas, and then there is a Upanishads. Upanishads are compared to. Let me just share my screen. If it is okay, can I share my screen? I want to show you also.
Yeah, I thought I made you. Oh no, sorry. Let me do this.
How do I share my screen? Yeah.
Are you on your computer?
Yes.
There should be. I made you co-host.
Oh yeah. Share my screen. Yes. Yes. Share my screen. So, do you see my screen?
Yes.
So there are, like, as I was talking about Ishvara, the concept Ishvara deals with from the 7 to 12 chapter deals with Ishvara. So if you want to know anything about Ishvara, you should go 7 to 12 chapter. Then Jiva, who we are, that discuss in the beginning, first and second chapter. So this is very important that there is a first chapter is not talking about Krishna is not talking. It's all about Arjuna's understanding of what is true religion. Has anybody read the Gita? It's all about who we are, where are we, and what are our lamentations, what are our challenges in our life. It's not like it talks about something 5,000 years ago. It talks about day-to-day challenges, what kind of problems we have in family life, we have a social culture and economic life and this and that. So it talks about Arjuna's problem and what he thinks could be the solution for all my problems. Sometimes he feel like just getting out of this material nature and just running away. So this is the setting up the scene. It's very important. So it's very important to know where are we. We are not up there. If we would have been up there, we would have been constantly reading Gita, chanting the Holy Name, and dancing and having good time. But we are in this material world, so it's very important to know the reality check. Reality check. So it's the first and second chapter is very important. The Jiva, and the third one from Prakriti is a 13 to 18 chapter. It talks about Prakriti. Karma talks about between 3 to 6 chapter, and there is some mention of karma in 8 and 12 chapter, 11 chapter. So this is important. to understand. So if you want to refer any one of these topics, you can refer to these chapters. So it is very important for us to, just 1 minute, I'm not used to it of having this and this together. Okay. So, yeah. So it is very important for us to actually understand how Bhagavad-Gita has emerged. But before that, I think let's talk about some of the eminent personalities like Mahatma Gandhi. What are they saying in terms of Bhagavad Gita? So anybody like to read this? Okay, I
I
guess.
can read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What eminent personalities say, when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face, and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad Gita and find a verse to comfort me, and I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day.
River, this is Mahatma Gandhi, the father of India. This is very important. Now, if he's finding it like that, so it is very important. So his understanding of Gita was completely right. But the thing is, Prabhupada said that you also have to give up the politics. If you don't give up the politics, you're going to die glorious death. Because the real Mahatma is what one who understands and takes complete shelter. So he did use his understanding of Gita in politics, and he was a great success he got. So then there is another one, is that personality like Albert Einstein. When I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God creates this universe, everything seems to be superfluous. Now, this is Albert Einstein, which so many people follow. So he's reading Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is not just meant for Hindu scriptures. There is a complete misconception that Bhagavad Gita is for the only for Hindu religion. It is meant for those people who wants to rise, who wants to actually understand the way of life, who wants to understand the goal of life. So he actually reflects that all the creation, like a sun and a moon and the beautiful sky. You see the sun and you see the setting of the sun. Oh my God, what beautiful shades, and what beautiful the moon. Oh my God, the heart melts when we see the moon and the stars and everything. So all this we see it, but we still don't register that this is a manifestation of God. No scientists have created this. The whole earth is basically completely having a what you call for that, it's floating, and the sun exactly is just a little bit closer, the whole earth will burnt into ashes, and little bit further it will all become ice. Just a perfection. And we are rotating 10,000 miles per hour. Can we right now? But we are not going, oh, what do you have to say? We are perfectly fine. Who does that? Huh? So if you actually use our intelligence, the oxygen, and how the trees are getting whatever we are living, and what they live, we actually inhale. So this is all beautiful inside. If our whole body is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether. Wow! Just take I'll give the challenge to the scientists and make the body with air, with this 5 element which I just spoke. It's not possible for anybody. Just put the air, water, air, fire, ether, and just create a beautiful soul. So this is amazing creation. How the child is in a womb is developed, and how the creation is taking place. Wow, the science in the so many amoebas and so many so many things are there. It's just the blood and the heart, how it's pumping. It's the whole science. If we actually understand the science, you will fall in love with God. Huh? You will fall in love with God. How the jinns and how the child is manifested. How just a blade of grass. I challenge anybody, just create a blade of grass naturally without any ingredient from outside. It's just amazing. A flower, oh my God, it's just amazing how everything is created. So this is just the external creation. Now, if we want to know what internal creation, how beautiful that would be. It's just mind-boggling. Where are we getting into it? So Bhagavad-Gita is basically, it's a Upanishad, and I don't want to jump myself further, but this is the most amazing thing we are going to discuss about Gita. Anybody would like to read this? Of the glories of Gita. You want to try?
Okay. Glories of Bhagavad Gita, of that terrifying river, of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, over which the Pandavas victoriously crossed. Bhishma and Drona were as the high banks, Jayadratha as the river's water, the king of Gandhara, the blue water lily, Shalya the shark, Kripa the current, Karana the mighty waves, Ashvathama and Vikarna the dread alligators, and Vardhana the very
Yes.
whirlpool, but thou, O Krishna, wast the ferryman.
River. So you can see when we are going in a journey, the Krishna is the ferryman, and there are so many impediments. Now this is for the Pandavas, but this is also our life. We are in an ocean of this material world, and we have so many. Our mind is playing so many tricks upon us. Is that happens with me only, or it happens with everyone? The mind playing tricks upon you. I guess yes. I think it's happening with me only, nobody else. But I guess everybody is in same boat. Let's put it that way. They just don't want to say anything. Okay, so the Bhagavad Gita is for the dynamics. There is a Google, Microsoft, Intel, and several companies. They are actually introducing the topics of Gita in their companies to increase the motivation for their employees. Can you believe that this is what is happening at the corporate level at this time? This is the thing. It's like a globalization is happening right now. The Indian Prime Minister the other day, Narendra Modi, said the greatest gift on earth is the Bhagavad Gita. And what greatest gift, if you want to give it to your friend, is Gita, and greatest gift is received, because the knowledge can actually free us. The charity can make us happy temporarily, but knowledge can free us from the bondage. So this is most glorious topics which we are going to discuss today. I wish at least I need 4 hours. Just you might curse me. I said, no, this time only, next time we don't want you. Okay, so the Bhagavad Gita is part of the Vedic scriptures, which comes as a 2 ways where you can actually impart the knowledge. One is the Shruti. Shruti means when you hear the message of God, and somebody explains us with the example the same message of God. Is called Smriti when it is spoken, but actually when spoken by the sages, and Shruti is actually spoken by the Lord itself. So Bhagavad Gita categorizes is directly Shruti as well as Smriti, because it is part of Mahabharata. Now let me tell you one thing. When originally when the whole creation was taking place, this was there when I spoke, I was asked to speak in a church, and I think the priest told me that we have the how it is created. So I would like to know about your creation. I said it's not my creation, it is a creation written in the scriptures 5,000 years ago. So in that it was written when the originally Brahma was created by the Supreme Lord Vishnu from his navel, he was actually bewildered, and only thing he knew was did not know. So he heard the two words tapa, perform austerity. And so when he performed austerity, all the knowledge of the scriptures, all the Vedas is actually revealed within your heart. So this is very important aspect. When you become purified, all the knowledge of the Vedas is actually get revealed within your own heart. So, so the breath of Brahma is called Vedas, breath of which is actually received by Lord Vishnu. So this is so important to understand. Imagine the Upanishads are those who are the summary of Vedas, which will go again to the next one. The Upanishads are the summaries of the Vedas, which is let me go to the this is it, this slide. Sorry. So this slide, Upanishads are the summaries of the Vedas. Now, in that river, it is considered a Veda is like a river, and Mahabharata is part of Puranas, which is considered a lotus flower. Whole Mahabharata has 100,000 shlokas, which is considered as lotus flower. It's beautiful. Lotus flower, we can talk about 2 hours just on lotus. We don't want to go there. So lotus flower is, it's not, it doesn't get affected by the mud around. And when the lotus, especially the blue lotus, when the aroma starts coming, it's intoxicating. Oh my God, the aroma starts coming. Woo! You get intoxicated, you get mad. And that aroma, that intoxication is the knowledge of Gita. You're getting it? So that there's a whole thing, the entire ocean or a big reservoir of water, which is Vedas, and in that there is one lotus, which is considered Mahabharata. In that there is 700 shlokas of Bhagavad-Gita considered as aroma. Ooh. And imagine that Supreme Lord's breath is Vedas. Imagine what is just and the cause of Vishnu is Krishna, is a supreme cause who is like a much higher. And from the Supreme Lord's lips, the Bhagavad Gita is coming out. Entire Vedas are coming from the breath of Brahma, but here actually this fragrant Bhagavad Gita is coming from the lips of the Supreme Personality of God. So how important it is. How important. Now you can just try to understand what I'm trying to say. It's like that aroma of flowers when all these devotees are considered as one flower, and they all come together, different colors, different shapes, and different ways of behavior and everything, they all come together, becomes a garland, and is offered to the Lord. So this is this is absolutely glorious. Imagine a person who, there was a Shukdev Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit, he was to die for 7 days, and he had only 7 days to live. And what he did, in the 7 days, he said there's only one paro dharma, the highest religious principle, the highest thing in the Vedas. I want to know what is the highest thing. Paro dharma, highest thing. He said, performing devotional service. especially beginning when chanting and hearing is the highest. So he actually sat down and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the great personalities. Hari Bol! Hare Krishna. So this is what the intellectual decision, the group of sages decided you should just hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So how important is Bhagavad-Gita is a primary study of going to the Bhagavatam. So how important the words of God is. It's just simply amazing. It is stated there are so many things coming in the mind, but I'm trying to control not to increase the weight of this thing. But I just wanted to say this. Bhagavad Gita is the Shruti and Smriti, and this is like this is very important. Now, if you have a bracelet or a ring, in the ring you have so much gold, so the entire gold is considered as Mahabharat, and in that there is a diamond which is so important, which gives value to the entire ring, which is Bhagavad Gita. Now you can realize it is Upanishads, the highest gift of Upanishads. It is the highest thing for the human life you can actually read and achieve. So this is the Primus benediction, Haribol. And this is like a treasure chest. And this treasure chest has the two locks. The lock number 1 is 18.65 and lock number 2 is 18.66. Go figure. Now 18.65, Lord talks about always thinking, man mana madvad bhakto madhyajima namaskaro mame vaishan satyam te pratijane priyosime. He says how you can be dear to me and how you can surrender unto me. And when you actually do this, the treasure box opens. When you always think about Lord, somehow or other, put your mind. Have you loved somebody very intensely? If you love somebody very intensely, you will remember that person in any situation. Madly fall in love. Has anybody? I don't want to. If you madly fall in love with anyone, you always think about that person. If you see the handkerchief, oh, the handkerchief belonged to. Oh, you see the steps, or you see the birds, you see everything. You just think everything. How I can connect to my beloved. The same way, if the Lord becomes your beloved, if the Krishna becomes. It becomes so much nectarine experience that all the mundane love becomes insignificant, and you just keep sorry, you just keep chanting the holy names of the Lord. It becomes intense. So the religion is not something which you do 2 hours a day. It is something which you have to live from your life, from your heart. You just live completely with all your hearts. Just like when you love from your heart. This thing when you read Gita and you want to actually give yourself to the Lord, you open your heart. Okay, don't make it 50% or 10%. Give like 100%. Then you will relish it and you won't lament, because everything else in your life will stay in this world. But only the spiritual life, whatever you do in this spiritual life, you're going to take it with you. Imagine something you're going to take it with you birth after birth, something which you're going to take with your soul. This is, before we get into the topics of the Gita, it is very important to understand all Upanishads are like, consider the cow. And who is the coward boy here? Yes? It's Krishna, right? And the cow gives milk if there is a calf, very nice calf. So Arjuna is considered a calf here. And then the nectarine milk is actually beautiful. Nectarine milk is like Bhagavad Gita. The fortunate devotees, they just drink the milk and they feel so nourished. When you act, when you're very hungry and when you eat the fruit, what happens? The three things happen. Do you know what three things happen? When you eat, your hunger is satisfied. Huh? Uh, Tushti, pushti. Tushti means you feel, and pushti, you feel very satisfied. Your hunger is gone first. Second, you very feel satisfied. And you feel nourished and healthy. The same way, spiritually, all of us are hungry here. Believe me, all of us in this material world, Sachit Anand. Anand means hungry. They are hungry for the happiness, hungry for the joy, hungry for the real stuff. So unless you are really hungry for spiritual life, you are not going to get it. Bhagavad-Gita wasn't spoken when Krishna was telling Arjuna, oh, you take lay chips and let's have a soda, a lemonade drink, and let me make a nice feast for all these people. And while taking the feast, let's talk about spirituality. Oh, let's talk about it. And he wasn't doing that. He wasn't eating Uncle chips or whatever chips or organic chips. He was actually seeing the condition of the soul, and it was on a battlefield. And Arjuna was not a renunciate. People think, oh, now you have taken spiritual life. Now you have become useless. You are going to take renounced order. You're going to shave your head and you're going to take saffron. Anyway, Andy Prabhu has shaved his head on his first time. I'm just joking. Don't take it seriously. So the next step, you're just going to renounce everything. And when you get the Gita, my God, he's going to run. Whoa, gone. Huh? No. The Bhagavad Gita takes up sleeping soul, jago, just get up and run towards your mission. Don't give it up. Fight. It is a book of the motivational. It's a book. You won't believe it. That today's biggest, highest paid motivational speakers, they refer Bhagavad Gita. Do you know this? The best. You have to get. You have to pay to hear them, and the topics which they derive is from Gita. Can you? Maybe we should charge people, 100,000 because the topics we are going to tell the roots of all these motivational speakers, what they're going to talk about. Haribol, so this is so interesting, and if you actually get into the detail, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad means Sri Bhagavad Gita. It is actually Sri Bhagavad Gita. Sri means Srimati Radharani. Bhagavad means Lord Krishna himself, and Gita means song. So the song is sung not intellectually, but when you're very, very happy. The Bhagavad Gita on a battlefield, imagine Krishna is singing the beautiful transcendental hymns for Arjuna to get up and fight. River. Who doesn't want to hear their hymns? Who doesn't want to hear? The fools, they think that Bhagavad Gita is meant for certain religion and certain things. And people think that, oh my God, the people think whatever, all these crazy ideas. So it's sad that people have so much misconceptions about Bhagavad Gita. But it's all about inspiration. It's all about the first chapter is the setting of the scene. Second chapter is synopsis of the entire Gita in some. So this is very important. See the flow, just understanding you're on airport. So get into the airport, you have to travel through so many things. Now you are on airport. So you're setting up the scene. And now you're trying to understand which is your flight number, where are you going to go? So, and then you're asking question, oh, where is this, and this and that, or whatever, or seeing the board. You're trying to understand which one would like to take. So who we are, it's a summary is given. All these flights are there. The summaries is there. Which flight would you like to take? It's called synopsis of Gita. And the third and fifth chapter is about karma and jnana yoga. So this is Krishna is the most brilliant, absolutely brilliant preacher. He's not really giving the entire thing. He's just giving the summary. And what he's asking Arjuna now, what you would like to hear? He's not telling him everything. He's actually giving him the summary and said, take your pick. This is the entire menu card. What you would like to take a pick. So he's giving the summary of understanding who we are, what is the soul, and some symptoms of the soul, and he's giving the whole summary. And then he's saying, Arjuna is very intellectual. He's asking the right question. He's not wasting time there. He's only spoken in 45 minutes, by the way. We have done 45 minutes and we are still introduction. We haven't spoken. That's the difference between Krishna and us. 45 minutes we are just talking and nothing is covered. So 45 minutes, everything is over and he's willing to fight. It takes us 45 minutes to finish up our daily routine just to come out of it normally. So it's like karma yoga, jnana yoga 3 and 5. Sixth one is the practical tips to the practitioner, and the 7 to 12 is bhakti yoga. It's right in center. So I was just thinking, our place name is Bhakti Yoga Center, and Bhagavad-Gita is also Bhakti Yoga in center. Are you getting what I'm saying? We call it Bhakti Yoga Center, but here the Bhakti Yoga is also in center. So there's two different meaning. One is center is a place, here is the center in the middle. So Bhagavad-Gita, so why Bhagavad-Gita? If somebody comes to your house, do you put all your treasuries or all valuable stuff, your entire earning, right at the door? You can open the door and you see all your treasury. Yes? Do you do that? No. all your gold, silver, everything, whatever you acquired all your life, you put it, open your door. Oh my God. You don't do that. So the most beautiful, the most important things, it's stored in a center, 7 to 12, very well. And then practical applications of Gyan, like a beautiful gunas. And 18 is the conclusion, which opens the lock of the entire treasure house. And when we hear that, there's 18th chapter, the realizations of those people who hear that, the hairs are coming out, tears are coming out of their eyes, in ecstatic love, it has been spoken. So this is the most amazing topic. And people unfortunately think that Bhagavad Gita is mythology. This is another thing, was common misconception. That happens only around 2,500 years ago when people started, it was just created a big mess. But nobody talks about any other religious things as a mythology. Only Bhagavad Gita they want to say is mythology. This is sad that today's people, and they believe that Krishna, it was just a categorical and this was spoken like that and this and that. So this is a really sad thing that people do not understand. It is the absolute truth. It's not the mythology which we are talking about. It's the day-to-day life. It's the real stuff. And there is so much evidence is there in the scriptures where it was written Bhugol. In Bhagavatam, 5,000 years ago, it was written the earth was round. Can you believe that? How many years ago? 5,000, and only 100 to 400 years ago, I don't know how many, that somebody discovered. They thought earth is flat. Am I right or wrong? And in 5,000 years ago, scriptures, it was written earth is round. Now, who is right here? Earth is round. It's not flat. So this was written, and then there's so much the child, how it's developed in a womb. Srimad Bhagavatam has a beautiful description. There's Jesus is there, Buddha is there, Parshuram, there's so many, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the future incarnations are there, and what's going to happen in in this age of Kali Yuga, how the water will be sold, first how the food would be sold, then the water, and then the air will be sold. Now, 1 year ago, if you would have read this 2 years ago, you wouldn't have believed the air will be also sold. But with coronavirus, now you can see the air is also been sold. So now you can see all these words of the scriptures, how it is coming to true. It's the life, whatever is spoken is truth. What we are living in, it puts us in a dense illusion and makes us believe that this is not true. So it reveals us that real treasure which we should relish. At least before we leave the body, we should open that treasure within our own heart and try to experience what we inherit. We inherit a lot of beautiful, wonderful, ecstatic love. We inherit so much beautiful knowledge by which we'll be so happy and joyful and evil. So this is Bhagavad-Gita, which is actually spoken 5,000 years ago, and this was actually showed how to practice the knowledge of Gita by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I think I have to stop here, but this is my short message in a short time, whatever I could. Oh yeah, and Bhagavad Gita, I also forgot to tell you, there are 574 verses by Lord Krishna, 84 verses by Arjun, 41 by Sanjay, and 1 by Dhritarashtra. So the song of God is beautiful, and that's all I have. And Bhagavad Gita is also like a sun, which I forgot to tell him. What is the sun does? Sun actually, when there's a dirty water, it actually penetrates that. It's actually consumed, it evaporates that, but it still remain aloof from all these dirty things. It still remain pure. So similarly, when we take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through chanting and hearing, all the dirty things within our heart, which is troublesome, which taking us to the deep, dark, hellish condition, the mindset and everything gets cleansed. It gets cleansed, and such nicely it gets cleansed. Our mind becomes clear, and by doing this, we become more purified. And Krishna, with his transcendental message, he can do that in 1 second. So all we need to do is receive this knowledge like this. But without the faith, we take the hands like this, so we receive nothing. So when we become like this, that means you are becoming humble. So this is very important. We have to learn to become humble. There are some things I forgot to tell you, that there are some teachings, but I guess we can take that next time, or next time whenever we have. So there is a lot of things in Bhagavad Gita. It's so ecstatic. I just have to control myself to talk, to not get into any one of this topic, but stay at the very high end. Because if I go into one more topic or one particular topic, these 5 topics, it took me 1 year to finish these 5 topics. 1 year. And believe me, it's sweet. All these 5 topics are so sweet that you say, oh my God, I wish I would have known this before. My life would have been so much better. The thing is, it's not the devotee, it's not the concept called devotee that makes it different. It's the lifestyle. It's the how much you're willing to let go and how much we are willing to discipline our life to take it every day. Take this message every day, and how much we are willing to do something. Just like if you want to stay fit, you will find some time every day, at least 5 minutes, to do some exercise and everything. So same way, if we really want to stay ourselves fit spiritually, then you must give some times for the spiritual life. Otherwise, we'll be very disease conditioned. And because of our disease condition, we are taking one life after another. Now, this is our glorious occasion. But due to these two great personalities, Cassandra Mataji and Andy Prabhu, they have given us the entrance into something to get cured, to get completely get free from the disease. So on this what is it on the 4th of July, on Independence Day, it's all talks about freedom, the freedom from lust, anger, greed, the freedom from the bondage, the freedom from all those births. We have been cheated by the illusory nature. Do you know that we have been cheated in such a way that we have forgotten how many times we have been cheated? And every time the power of illusion is so strong, even though we know the knowledge is there, but when the wind starts blowing, we'll be swept away. So therefore, it is very important to have regular association. So therefore, on Thursdays, to have this association, it's like oasis in the middle of the ocean of this material existence of this week. And we have also association on Sundays. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Oh, I did good. 4 minutes still. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. I did control myself. Hare Bol. Yes. Normally it doesn't happen like that. Huh? Just
Thank you. It was very interesting. Thank you. It was great.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments or some slaps or criticism?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
What was the 5? I don't know if there's 5 topics.
Yeah, 5 topics.
Yeah. What can you repeat those? Was it the 5?
5 topics.
What were they again?
The first one is Ishvara. Ishvara means who is God.
Oh, okay. And what was number 2?
Jiva. Jiva means living entity. All of us.
Okay. And 3?
And the third one is the material nature, Prakriti.
Yeah, that was the one I thought. Yeah.
Material nature.
Okay. And then the 4th
is karma. Actually, this is the 4th one, time, and the last one is karma.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the order actually.
Oh, okay. So if I wanted to I'm sorry. So if I wanted to start reading on this topics at a time, would it be better to get literature in each topic?
Yes, you can read all this, but it's better if you start from the Gita in the beginning, so you understand the questions the Arjuna is asking, and you can relate all this question in your life also. And
Okay.
then you understand, summarize the 2nd chapter. And you can read anything, whatever you like from.
Okay.
But if you want to study something,
So start with the
from the beginning and make a notes and discuss with somebody. Oh, it's relishing, man. It's just so nourishing. Actually, you will forget all your problems in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Because one time Srila Prabhupada was there, and one devotee came and he asked Srila Prabhupada, I have so many practical problems. He said, read Gita. He said, yeah, that's okay, that's not practical. I have really a problem with the pipe and bulbs and all. He was trying to say, I have a real practical problem. He said, yeah, I understand you have practical problem, but read Gita first. He said, okay, 3 days he read Gita, and he read Bhagavad-Gita, and third day he came and he asked, oh, well, now you tell me what are your problems? I said, I have no problem. All my problem are solved because all mind was creating hell out of heaven and heaven out of hell and all these things. So the thing is, we are in so much illusion. It's like we are actually in psychological warfare. Do you know this? Think about this term, what I just used. Psychological warfare we are in. We are identified ourselves, which we are not. And then we have created a big holocaust around us, and we have created so many things around us. And we created a big, gigantic problem which doesn't exist, doesn't belong to the soul. So that's why it's very important to uncover the real aspect of real you, who you really are, the real you. When you understand when you're real you, I talk with one of my contractors, he comes to do the work, and I talk about Bhagavad-Gita, and this person is so enlivened and enlightened, and he keeps telling me, and he said, now after reading Gita, I know one thing. He's a daily wage person, and he said he tells me, now I know I don't have to worry about anything. I will perform my duties very nicely, but do not expect the results. I will go, and he's not very wealthy or anything like that. But he's smiling and he's ecstatic. He may have some little bad habits, doesn't matter. But the thing is, he has the knowledge, a little bit knowledge, where he's become fearless in his profession. And this is itself is very fearful. People don't know how they lose their job and anything. He's just there, and he doesn't even care. He said, whatever, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Whenever he sees me, he says, Hare Krishna. So it gives you the dimension, the fearlessness in your life. It gives you the inspiration to get up and do something for God. Just about whatever you are doing, just do it for God. It gives you inspiration. You just feel like, yes, I want to open up my dimension which I've never seen it before. I want to understand that wonderful, loving, eternal, full of knowledge aspect of myself, which is, I want to experience that. I want to know where I belong to. I was telling to these guys, Cassandra and Andy, that one of the reasons why Star Wars is so famous, because we don't belong to this world. we take problems of this world, but we don't belong to this world. That's why we see the stars. Whatever story, whatever. I don't know the music. Star, whatever. Okay. The thing is, we don't belong to this world. So what we have to care of, what we are taking, not even a fig, nothing we take from this world. So it's just the full hardcore psychological warfare is created around us. We just have to understand that when we read Gita, when we chant the holy name, that gives us the strength to overcome the substance and any associate with devotee. Oh my God, it's just a deadly combination. So sorry, I overspoke on your question. You asked about my topics and I gave you the whole description. That's what
Prabhuji,
Babaji, thank you so much for your lecture. It was so great. I wanted to make a comment to what you said when you said when you start reading the Bhagavad-Gita, to read it with somebody, because then it makes it's so much more powerful. And I was thinking about it because I was like, when you're reading the Bhagavad-Gita, you're not only hearing but you're also in association. So it's like you're doing two of the main principles of bhakti in one setting, because you're hearing it, you're chanting it, and you're in association. So it's just so much power there.
Jai Hari Bol. So next time you're going to speak and we're going to hear.
No.
Very well. So anyways, thank you very much. I am really grateful to you, Mother, that you have all of you are great souls, but I only know Cassandra because she lives in San Antonio, and she's such amazing. Both of them so amazing. I just feel like they're from some different world. They've come to save me or something here on this material world. They're just absolutely phenomenal. They just can't see the faults in anyone. Can you imagine? They just can't see the faults. The whole material world, they do only one thing, finding fault. But when you come to there are faults right in front of their, and they just can't see it. They just can't see it. How they do it, I don't know. This is the power of devotees, This is the power. It's just beautiful. And what a service attitude, We'll prepare garland and all this. And laddus. I'm eating laddus, the sweet ones. I'm still eating laddus that Cassandra has made. Just amazing, just amazing. I feel that with the association, as you are talking about, I feel the same with both of you when you are there, and it's such a wonderful relishable because the topics is spiritual life. And when the topic is spiritual life, it gives such a nice flavor in the relationships also. It becomes much stronger and better. This is a proof. Both of them also. They're whatever they are having such a beautiful time. They're having such a stronger and beautiful relationship. Why? Because they're reading together. They are chanting together. They have spiritual life together, and they're growing it very nicely. Last time one couple came, his name was Advaita Chandra Prabhu and Kalasula Mata. Such an ideal couple. It just amazes me more and more. How can they be Kali Yugas? How can they be Kali? When they get up, husband and wife, what do they do first, Can you imagine what the husband and wife, when they get up, first thing is they get up and touch the feet of each other. Whoa! That's unheard of. they touch the feet of each other and give their obeisances. And every activity, what they do is something related to Krishna. The whole life is for Krishna. Everything. It's just amazing. It doesn't happen with me, okay? I get up and I get screamed at or yelled at or whatever. So nothing. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're nice people here, but I'm just saying. So the thing is, just with this such powerful association, it just makes us feel that, okay, this is it. And now Krishna is all loving, he's all merciful, he's omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent at the same time. So it's just amazing that this journey has just opened up such a wonderful dimension and a culture which we can live off. It's not something which you read for some time, close the book and open TV and watch nonsense. No, it is the culture which you can live in. We can think about it all the time. And you can experience it, and you know where your destination is. Oh, that gives us such a great solace. You know where are you going. Huh? So, anyways, thank you very much. Otherwise, is there anything else?
I had one question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
So it's like, topics like the Bhagavad-Gita, just, spiritual topics like this. It feels like right now we're all like, fishes. We're all just fish. We're fishes living underwater, and we go to work, we do our routine, and that's kind of like where we are.
Fishes living underwater, that's natural.
Yeah, fishes living underwater, and then it feels like something like the Bhagavad-Gita is like something.
I'm like the fish living outside.
Yeah, it's like the
At least living in the water. I'm living outside.
Yeah, like the Bhagavad-Gita is like something you have to go to the surface for. It's like something you have to break your routine.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just crazy here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So I guess it's like my question is like, where do we get the willingness to start wanting to like break our routine and find something that's like that we've never heard of before, and really start just getting an interest in like, I guess, spiritual life.
As per the scripture, it says initial faith gets fanned. Atho shraddha tatha sadhu sangha. Bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, and then nishtha. Now, what I'm trying to say is that first is the little faith is there, but when you come in association of devotees, imagine 7 to 8, you had an option to do other things today, right? Do you think you would have felt that much inspired by reading alone, book called Bhagavad-Gita or whatever? You might feel great joy, but the thing is, in the or anything, you could have been watching TV or anything like that. So association gives us the inspiration. And the most important thing is we have to, the thing is we have to put some discipline in our life. For example, you must think that I must read or some 5 minutes, little time, at least 2 minutes every day, Bhagavad Gita. At least 1 minute, if you can, Bhagavad Gita, at least something, and then you increase it little by little. So the thing is, once you start develop an interest, then you will grow and expand. And when you start expanding, it's just wonderful feeling. And creating atmosphere and association and giving inspiration helps us to. You must have a body as you have, in spiritual life, where you can actually tell, okay, Cassandra can make all that, but she's a great person. She can make all her sisters and they can just have a schedule and come together every day, or they just read sometime, and just make sure that we discuss a little bit. And eventually you will feel like all those problems, which are big problems, become so small. All those temptations and anxieties, they just go away. See, the temptations also brings anxiety. Material temptations brings anxiety and distress. So whatever we are tempted in this material world gives us temporary joy, but it comes with price, which we need to pay. So when we understand this fact from the Gita, that whatever temptation, it comes with the price in this world. Only temptation in spiritual life doesn't come with any price. It only comes with the reward. You may have to struggle to get in and to increase, but that struggle is eternal. Material struggle is temporary. There are two struggles. One is eternal struggle and one is material struggle. Which one you want to do that? We have done material struggles birth after birth, and the result, slapped across and he said, come on, take your soul out and here, rascal. Boom. Put it in the next life. Boom. And again. But here is a struggle where you have been invited to go forward. It's become all auspicious. All good habits starts developing in you. All the good culture, the good, everything people start appreciating. And then you say, oh, all this, so all the good qualities you automatically get derived. And plus you get something which is much, much rare. You can get liberation, but you don't get devotion. And we are marching towards the highest goal of our life, the devotion to Lord Krishna. So this is so sweet and so sublime. We may need to struggle and make our life disciplined now. Because if we do not understand the treasure house, the values in the treasure house, when we remember and chant 18.65 and 66, you start opening the treasure little by remembering the Lord and hearing about Him. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's just become manifested so wonderfully. It's just such a great treasure. But you might need to struggle a little bit by attending more, hearing, chanting, because mind is such a thing, it's not going to allow you. The one of the key what we did on that 16 hours meditation and transcendental, we broke through the barrier the mind can take. So the same thing, sometimes you just have to let the mind says, okay, that's enough. I'm going to read, whether I like it or not. You start doing it for Krishna. So when you start doing it for Krishna, whether you like it or not, let me do it for God. Krishna, this is for you. This is my humble offering to read Gita. If nobody's there, go in front of the picture, go in front of the altar and open the book and read and chant the holy name for their pleasure. Alone, you'd be bewildered. Even though you're a devotee, you could be bewildered. So each other, as Sandra Mataji said, inspired, have this conversation regularly. Get inspired, because outside world is waiting to devour our spiritual enthusiasm. They are just waiting to take out all the spiritual enthusiasm by giving us distraction, mass distraction. So that's one of the reasons why we are not able to feed. So most important aspect is just with determination, with association and little faith, we continue doing the right things. Hearing and chanting, these two are very important. Is that answers your question?
Yes.
What was your question? I forgot.
It was why is Star Wars so popular? No, I'm just kidding. Well, I was just asking where the.
We're having a lot of fun here, I guess. You may not have had Bhagavad-Gita program and have such a nice fun.
Yeah.
It's just a, I mean, so spiritual life, when you really starts living, it's just joyful. No? It's just joyful. Nothing matters. You don't care about anything else. It just becomes a joyful where you don't really care what the people thinks. Even though you feel, you know how to swing back. Even it's not that we don't feel sad or we don't feel, we know how to get back on track. Huh? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I have to go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much. If everybody wants to come
Okay.
off mute and just say a quick thank you,
Huh?
our speakers too.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you everybody for joining us. We hope to see you guys again next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Andy.
Hare
It was
Krishna.
great.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
I know.
Okay. Okay. What's your time, Prabhu? Oh, he just left.